Good day and welcome to the Lilly Roddy Show, coming to you from the LRS studios here in Houston, Texas. We're already in the last week of January. Time just flies by. Soon, February will be right there. I hope you're all safe and warm where you live in our winter time. We've had really pleasant weather off and on here in Houston, and we've actually had some really almost summer days. I want to thank you all for the nice compliments that I have received. It lets me know that what I do is really useful to people, and that is so important to me. We're under the influence of Mercury retrograde, so be sure and use this time to address issues from your past. The midpoint in the Mercury retrograde cycle is January 30th. After the 30th, you can start thinking about future plans, but you still have to wait to implement them until after February 19th. We have two long void moon times this week, on Wednesday the 28th and on Friday the 30th. Both void during the daylight hours. Keep your agenda flexible on those days. If you wish to get in contact with me for a private session, you can always reach me at Lillyroddyshow@AOL.com, Lillyroddyshow.com, or find us on Twitter or Facebook. Let's get to this week's forecast. Sunday, January the 25th, the moon resides in adventuresome Aries for the entire day. In the morning, the moon conjuncts Uranus at 5:27 a.m. We are up early, and we have a lot of energy and are very active, but not very patient. So give yourself plenty of time this morning for whatever you need to do. The moon squares Pluto at 7:02 a.m. This planetary combination is useful for getting to the core issues and doing a general detoxing. Our emotions are strong this morning, and we're very likely to have a very intense point of view. We are taking everything personal this morning. The moon sextiles Mercury at 9:41 a.m. By mid-morning, we are tracking along much more easily. It's a good time for communicating with friends and clients, especially contacting those from your past. The moon trines Jupiter at 3:52 p.m. We feel a lot more positive and magnanimous this morning. This is such a good time for being lazy and getting away from established routines. Escapism is the theme for this afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to take that on Sunday. Monday, January the 26th, the moon begins the day in Aries. She becomes void of course in Aries at 8:23 a.m. and remains so for a brief time until she enters determined and focused Taurus at 10:37 a.m. and is no longer void of course. Plan your more important activities after that time, which is 10:37 a.m. The moon sextiles Venus at 8:23 a.m. This is a very pleasant morning where we desire to be with people that we really like. It's a perfect morning to have coffee and pastries with your friends. The moon is now void of course in Aries at 8:23 a.m. She will quickly enter Taurus at 10:37 a.m. and no longer be void of course. There are no more lunar aspects until the evening, so we'll probably move along at a slower pace even though the moon is not void of course. The moon sextiles Neptune at 9:29 p.m. Emotionally and physically and psychically, we are more open to other people. This could be an ideal time to use for meditating, being with people of like mind, or exploring your psychic skills. That Neptune can really amp that up. The moon squares the sun at 10:48 p.m. We have a late energy boost this evening. This may make it difficult to get to sleep or it may stimulate some of you to start working on a project. We may just feel restless without a clear sense of what to do with the energy. Tuesday, January the 27th. The moon travels through headstrong Taurus all day. She turns void of course late in the evening at 8:18 p.m. This will mark the beginning of a long 20-hour void of course moon time frame, which will end when the moon enters Gemini at 4:36 p.m. on Wednesday afternoon. Try to get as much done as you can today, Tuesday, and plan for a lighter schedule tomorrow on Wednesday. The moon sextiles Mars at 7:34 a.m. We feel very energetic and confident this morning. We are also very likely to take things more personally. Be sure you do what's best for you. Venus, planet of values and desires, enters Pisces at 9 a.m. on this day for a 24-day stay. Venus in Pisces indicates a time when we'll desire more peace and calm, especially some time alone so that we can be more centered. Our emotions are more on the surface, and we will see people behaving more authentically. Venus in Pisces can be a time when we indulge all of our sensual and psychic pleasures. The moon squares Mercury at 10:55 a.m. This is a prime time to contact people from your past, clean out your files, or edit your manuscript. We are chattier, but we feel more nostalgic. The moon trines Pluto at 11:36 a.m. By lunchtime, we're feeling more in the groove. Use this time to focus on particular projects or tasks. We feel productive and want to get things done. In the evening, the moon squares Jupiter at 8:18 p.m. We need a break from the burden of responsibility and from our mundane routines. This is an enjoyable time to get out to dinner and see a play. The moon is now void of course at 8:18 p.m. This will mark the beginning of a long 20-hour moon void of course, which will end, as I said earlier, when the moon enters Gemini at 4:36 p.m. on Wednesday afternoon. And our last aspect for the evening, Mercury sextiles Uranus at 11:03 p.m. We remain sharp mentally when these two planets connect with each other. Considering that Mercury is retrograde, this is a perfect time to contact clients or friends from our past. We may also want to reconnect with groups or organizations that we once belonged to. If you have a puzzle to solve, this is the perfect combination of planets. This aspect is in effect for the next couple of days. Wednesday, January the 28th, the moon starts the day void of course in Taurus, but she quickly enters mentally active Gemini at 4:36 p.m. That's not too quick. And will no longer be void of course. This will mark the end of a long void of course time frame that began Tuesday evening. Try and plan your more important activities for the latter part of the day, especially after 4:36 p.m. Our first aspect, the moon enters Gemini at 4:36 p.m. We now feel more connected and better able to process people and information in our lives. The moon squares Venus at 7:57 p.m. This is a great evening for entertaining friends or clients, as long as we don't want to make the conversation too much about business or too serious. All of us are inclined to be a bit lazy with this planetary combination. And our last aspect for the day, the moon opposes Saturn at 10:44 p.m. Our inner parent wakes up and wonders why we've been wasting our whole day. If you're working late this evening, you're getting a lot done. Be careful, as this planetary combination can make us judge ourselves too negatively and eat away at our self-confidence. Never a good thing. Thursday, January the 29th. The moon transits Gemini, the sign of the magician, for the entire day. The moon squares Neptune at 4:11 a.m. This is the perfect aspect to sleep through. If you're awake, you could be filling your head with lots of imaginary problems. So sleep through that one. The moon trines the sun at 10:07 a.m. For the most part, this is the beginning of a very positive day. We feel eager and optimistic during this time. The planetary combination favors almost any type of activity with this moon trine the sun. In the afternoon, the moon trines Mercury at 1:35 p.m. We feel more open and want to communicate about our past experiences. For business, this is an excellent time to contact people on your existing client list. The moon sextiles Uranus at 5:13 p.m. This late afternoon energy keeps us on our positive course. Use this energy for brainstorming or just rearranging your routines. All of us need a bit of a break in our schedule. The moon squares Mars at 6:12 p.m. In the early evening, our emotions are right out there for everybody to run into. All of us feel a bit angry and defensive. It only takes two to tangle. A good workout at the gym or a jog at the park would really help to disperse this energy. Friday, January the 30th, the moon transits through articulate Gemini all day. But she turns void of course early at 3:23 a.m. and remains so for the rest of the day. This begins a 22-hour void of course moon time frame, which will end when the moon enters Cancer at 1:09 a.m. on Saturday morning, which means tomorrow morning. Now, there are a lot of aspects today which will keep us highly motivated even with this long void of course moon. Focus your energies on taking care of the issues from your past, or just deal with what you have on your plate at the moment. Don't overload yourself or you may feel scattered. Here's our first aspect of the day. Venus squares Saturn at 2:23 a.m. Our personal needs are being weighed against the cost of getting those needs met. This is about the necessary commitment to follow through on your long-term career and security needs. The energy of this transit can cause us to be very judgmental and pessimistic about what we determine that's really useful for our future and what is not. This will affect our relationships, calculating what it really takes to be in a relationship. If relationships don't live up to your criteria, this can be a time where you end some of your associations. You are most concerned with personal usefulness, and cost, mental, physical, monetary, and emotional. This aspect, Venus square Saturn, is in effect for the next couple of days. It's a pretty heavy-duty aspect. The moon sextiles Jupiter at 3:24 a.m. If you're up late, you might be feeling a bit restless, surfing the internet, or just watching a late-night movie. If you have to work, life seems to move along more easily at this time. The moon is now void of course at 3:24 a.m. and will remain so throughout the remainder of the day until she enters Cancer at 1:09 a.m. on Saturday morning. Keep your plans simple and realistic today, even with the large number of aspects we're having from the planets. Mars sextiles Pluto at 7:36 a.m. We are up early this morning feeling very energetic and ready to tackle any task that comes our way. This combination of planets is ideal for really digging in and doing some research. It provides us with a strong amount of sustained energy that allows us to push through any obstacle we encounter. It helps to strengthen our willfulness. We feel strong and confident, but we're also glad to have help and support from the people around us. This can be a time when we're pushed into a leadership role and expected to show what we can really do. This is a great time to step up to the challenge. This aspect is also in effect for the next couple of days. The Sun conjuncts Mercury at 7:45 a.m. This is the middle of the Mercury retrograde transit. This is an especially strong energy to look back and recount our life over the last 3 to 4 months. This would be a fabulous combination to be working on existing projects, completing an assignment that you've been avoiding, or just cleaning things up in general. We are more communicative with this aspect, but we may also be a little bit scattered and overloaded. And in addition to that, we also are in need of some distraction. This is a fun time to re-watch any of your favorite movies. Saturday, January the 31st. The moon begins the day, void of course in Gemini, but she soon enters emotionally expressive Cancer at 1:09 a.m. and will no longer be void of course. The moon trines Venus at 10:56 a.m. We definitely feel warm and cuddly this morning. We defer to our emotional and physical needs. If you're working today, bring in a box of goodies for everyone to share. This would be a good way to spread the love. We are motivated to do the things that we want to do with Venus and the moon trining. The moon trines Neptune at 1:21 p.m. After lunch, we feel more psychically connected with the people around us. This can be a rewarding time to have a real conversation with people, since they'll be speaking from their heart and not saying what they think you want to hear. This is a much more relaxed pace for this time of the day. There are no more aspects for the rest of the day, but the moon is not void of course. You may not feel as motivated as you did earlier in the day, but you'll have plenty of drive to get you where you're going. Overall, the week sounds pretty good, even with our Mercury retrograde. Join us next week as we look at the first week of February. This is the Lilly Roddy Show, coming to you from the LRS studios here in Houston, Texas, reminding you to keep those stars in your eyes. Bye-bye.